Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil and it's time to talk about Person of Interest because we are starting a brand new show today and I am psyched. But not for the typical reasons. Normally when I get into a new show, I've got some idea what it's about. I've done a lot of pilot reactions that have turned into regular reactions, so I've at least gotten a taste before I started something, or I've heard a lot about a show. But when I put it to you, my subscribers, my patrons, about what I should watch next, and we had a poll over on my Patreon, kind of surprisingly, at least to me, Person of Interest won. Which, yeah, I think this is a show that came out recently enough on network television that I paid no attention to it. By the time this came out, it felt like we were in the golden age of premium television where there was all sorts of stuff happening on HBO and Showcase and AMC and the like before streaming necessarily really took off. But network TV wasn't necessarily where the best stuff was happening anymore. And so this sort of got lost in the haze of all these other procedurals that seem to dominate primetime network TV these days. And yet this show does keep getting recommended to me. And again, it handily won my last poll. So we're going to do Person of Interest. And this is really a blank slate for me. I know 3 things about this show. I know Michael Emerson, Benjamin Linus from Lost, is in it. He's a marvel. I can't wait to see what he does in this show. But if his performance in Lost is anything to go on, I'm in for a treat. I know that this is a J.J. Abrams executive produced show, which doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. JJ's very good at getting new shows greenlit based on his name and his track record, but I don't think he spends a whole lot of time being involved in the show once it's approved by a network. He may help out a lot with the pilot, but if this is typical of a lot of his stuff, he's relatively hands-off as an EP, leaving it in the hands of the showrunner. And I think the showrunner of this show is Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother, and Jonathan's also a producing partner on many of Chris Nolan's, if not all of Christopher Nolan's films. But I think this is his baby, and if that's the case, I'm super curious and interested. But beyond that, I know nothing, so there's no point in me continuing to talk. Let's check out this show, find out what it's all about, and see why so many of you want to see me react to it. So, this is the pilot of Person of Interest.
When you find that one person who connects you to the world, you become someone different. Someone better. When that person is taken from you, what do you become then?
Is that the same guy? This guy's giving me the same vibes that Alfie Allen gave me in the first John Wick. This guy feels a heck of a lot like Bruce Wayne in
I'll need a
China.
statement from the bum. Which hospital did they take him to?
He declined treatment.
But you don't learn how to fight like that in the regular army. So what were you, special forces? I'm Carter. You didn't give us a name.
So am I in trouble?
You're the one living on the street. You need some help?
He's not the
Of course,
talkative
some
type.
other guys I knew.
Yeah, she just got his fingerprints.
Open warrants in 4 different countries. What you got down there, Carter? Angel of Death?
I appreciate the help, counselor. But who's picking up the tab?
So he doesn't know his lawyer. Alright. This is giving me a... You guys remember that movie, the Will Smith movie, Enemy of the State?
Do I owe you money?
It's got some of those vibes, too. Mostly in the surveillance footage.
You don't owe me anything, Mr. Reese.
There he is.
That's the name you prefer, isn't it? I know that the government, along with everybody else, thinks you're dead. I know you've spent the last couple of months trying to drink yourself to death. So you see, knowledge is not my problem. Doing something with that knowledge, that's where you'd come in. You can call me Mr. Finch.
You sure it's not Mr. Linus? Because you sound just like him.
So many crimes are planned days, weeks in advance. What if you could stop those? I've got a list. People who are about to be involved in very bad situations. Like her. Her name is Diane Hansen. She might be the victim, she could be the perpetrator. All I know is that she's involved.
It's kind of
I want you to follow her and figure out what's going to happen.
I think that woman's probably your ex-wife or someone you rode in an elevator with once. Either way, I think I'm done.
Who's doing the surveillance? That's what I want to know.
Now police consider the man a person of interest in a number of crimes nationwide.
How much does this guy look like Jack Shepherd, by the way? Why is he zip-tied to the bed?
You need to know what it would be like to be forced to listen to someone get murdered and not be able to do anything about it.
What is he? Is he staging this? Finch? Yeah.
A woman murdered in this room by her husband. You were too late for her, just like you were too late for your friend Jessica. What the hell do you know about it? It's the truth. You left the government because they lied to you. I never will.
And you're not government.
No, I'm not. And that's the other thing I'm offering you, a chance to be there in time. It's not too late for her. You could help me stop what's about to happen. The question is, will you?
Ah, he brings the intensity, doesn't he? All right, well, there's our premise, basically, isn't it? Yeah.
There's a disparity between how much I know about you and how much you know about me. I know you'll be trying to close that gap as quickly as possible. But I should tell you, I'm a really private person.
And you've got a limp.
The list.
Yeah.
But you don't get names, do you?
How does he make his list?
These are social security numbers.
Doesn't really matter where I get the numbers. What you need to know is that the next number that's up is hers.
Huh.
She's an assistant district attorney. Best conviction record in her department.
We have no idea when this bad thing might happen, huh?
Could be in a week, could be 5 minutes.
We've got hundreds of people who could be holding a grudge.
Yeah, if she's an
I cut the
ADA.
list of two. The first is Wheeler, her co-counselor. Well, they dated for a few months last year. The second person I'm looking into is Lawrence Pope. The man Hansen is currently prosecuting. Pope's on trial for killing his friends in a drug deal gone bad.
They're both red herrings.
Detective Fusco, when you interviewed Mr. Pope, what did he tell you in his defense?
He said that if he'd have shot the poor bastard, he would have shot him in the head.
You went a little off script in your testimony.
What's it matter? We got the guy.
Well, it matters because it's my job to make absolutely sure that the wrong people don't go to jail.
Yeah. The cop?
I don't think you murdered those people.
I think somebody else was in the house when that 911 call was made.
Is it somebody you're trying to protect?
You gonna help me? Is that it?
Is it your younger brother, Michael?
You should leave us alone, lady. I can do the time. These people are evil.
You can trust me. We'll take care of you and your brother.
Keep your damn mouth shut, or shut boy!
I'm fine.
Okay, she's okay. She's okay.
Okay.
Hi, Mom. It's Jessica. I'm just down in Mexico with Cindy, and I'll be back tomorrow.
2001?
Okay?
Is that what it
Talk
said at
soon.
the bottom?
Bye. I wish this weekend could go on forever. But you have to go back to the base, and I'm not going to see you again for 2 weeks, which I hate.
I'll quit.
Okay, then quit.
I already did.
What?
Yeah. Hey, sweetheart, what's wrong?
Jessica.
What's on the
What's
TV?
wrong?
It's New York. I don't know.
Oh, is this 911? 9/11? It is 2001.
He give you anything?
No, as usual.
She's stonewalling Wheeler. What, does she think he's involved?
Turns out there's a good reason she doesn't trust Wheeler. We better get to this kid before someone else does.
About that, I don't like firearms very much.
Well, neither do I, but if someone has to have them, I'd rather it was me.
We're going back to Anton, the chain chewer.
That's some pretty serious equipment. Have you guys taken a safety course? They'll eject a shell casing right into your face. See?
A whole lot of guys getting shot in the leg.
Have a nice day.
Who the hell was that?
We're gonna put a couple in the back of his head. Make it look like a gang thing. You gotta do something.
I'm on it.
He's just loading a shotgun in the back of a cab. Cabbie doesn't even notice. Oh, geez, now we're doing a heat imitation. Sorry, I thought that was a shotgun. That's a grenade launcher.
We're both dead now. Do you know who they are?
I do now.
Oh,
Come on.
NYPD. Yeah. I had a funny feeling about the cop in the case, the one that was giving testimony. Yeah, there he is.
They steal the drugs, the cash, and they kill all the witnesses.
And they get Fusco to frame up guys like Lawrence Pope for the murders.
Exactly. Hell, I don't know anything for certain because you won't tell me where you're getting your information.
After the attacks, the government needed something that could sort through it all. Something that could pick the terrorists out of the general population before they could act.
So how do you know about it?
I made the system.
I built it.
Irrelevant information.
Individual people getting killed.
The machine is everywhere. Watching us with 10,000 eyes. Listening with 1,000,000 ears.
Big brother.
I can't see the whole picture.
I offered you a job, Mr. Reese. Never said it would be easy.
You're about to pal Anton?
No.
You got taken out by one guy in a suit.
She's going to be a character, isn't she? Like a recurring character.
Lawrence Pope was stabbed to death last night in his cell.
What?
They're trying to cover their tracks.
Hanson must be next.
Hello? You can keep me waiting, Stills? We don't have time for this.
What's your problem? Pope is dead.
Wheeler, you idiot, he knows.
She's
Maybe
in
that
on it.
open-
She's part of it.
Take care of him and get rid of Wheeler tonight. Make it look clean.
All right, I like the twist. I like the twist. They just throw him in a cab? No, that's not a cab. Unmarked police car.
Nice spot.
Glad you like it. You're gonna be here a long, long time.
Yeah, I've been watching you, Lionel. Your heart's not really into it. That's why I'm gonna let you live. And you might come in handy.
Ah, so I'm working for you now, huh?
That's right. You have to be more careful. For instance, if you're gonna put someone in the back seat of your car, you have to search them properly.
Jeez! Popper!
You have your vest on, officer?
Ow. Alright. Now he's got a guy.
We were wrong. Hanson isn't the target. She's the ringleader. They're going after Wheeler tonight.
As soon as it's done, we take the shooter out. Headshots this time, you understand?
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Some ex-con Wheeler put away.
Just some random. That's not cool at all. Jeez. This guy's got nothing to do with it, except he's going to be a patsy.
Show me that fastball here. Let's go. Come on.
Damn, he's got his kid with him. What a waste.
I'm going to take the kid, too? No.
Please don't do this.
Drop your weapon.
You'd be able to throw that fast. Absolutely.
Let him go.
I can't do that.
Went around the world looking for bad guys. But there were plenty of you right here all along.
I'm done, Your Honor. Miss Hanson?
Let's listen to the 911 call she made. Take care of Wheeler tonight. Make it look clean. Still, you screw this up, I won't let it get to me. I'll take care of you just like I took care of Poe.
Alright, how do you swap the audio? But that's problematic.
Is that where he is witness protection? No, Lionel. He's in the trunk. I had to shoot him with your gun, and you'd have a hard time explaining that one, so I'll be in touch.
The numbers never stop coming. You should know that up front. I've been watching you for a long time, John. We have more in common than you might think.
Did his number come
The
up?
world thinks we're both dead, for starters.
Both of them.
What changed your mind?
Let's just say you're not the only one that's lost someone. Sooner or later, both of us will probably wind up dead. I said I'd tell you the truth. Didn't say you'd like it.
He's definitely giving off some Benjamin Linus vibes.
There's just some guy alone in a suit.
Yeah, well, you're gonna tell me everything that you don't know about him and where I can find him.
Yeah. And now we basically see the NSA, right? Or is this... Yeah. It's the NSA. Non-relevant. Alright, I'm intrigued. I love the premise. The premise is super cool. The guy that basically designs the NSA surveillance state gets some extra data out of it. People that aren't related to potential terrorist activities but are related to future crimes. But we don't know how, we don't know in what way, whether they're the victim or the perpetrator. So every episode feels like it's going to be a bit of a mystery. How are they related? What's the actual story here? We get the fun twist that this woman we're following isn't the potential victim. She is in fact the ringleader of this gang of corrupt crooks who steal drugs, frame people for the murders and the thefts, and make out like bandits. But now we can stop them. I like it. Honestly, it was a more straightforward pilot than I was anticipating. It wasn't a massive budget, blow the doors off spectacular pilot. It was just like, here's our format, here's our first case, let's do this. Obviously, we got a fair bit of exposition just to learn the setup of the show, but that's necessary, that's cool, it's interesting. And now I think we sort of settle into a person of interest of the week. And I suspect there will be a through line, but what that might be, I don't know. I mean, we're obviously dealing with a post 9/11 world where constant surveillance is not only the norm, but almost welcome by the population. How much of your freedom are you willing to trade away for security? You know, that eternal debate. But it feels like our two main characters, they've both got an interesting history that we'll learn more about. They both lost someone. They're both presumed dead. We don't know any of that, either of those four stories yet. How did Jessica die? Why are either of these gentlemen presumed dead? But yeah, I'm eager to watch more. It's a fun format. It keeps you guessing. There's a bit of a mystery to solve. It's not forecasting the answer. I'm pretty good at like seeing what characters, like the guest stars, which ones are the red herrings and which ones are the real ones. And I thought when we first saw our cop in the courtroom that he was somehow one of the bad guys, but he's not the bad guy. And I certainly didn't anticipate that the ADA was in fact the ringleader. That was a fun twist. So I hope that they'll maintain that level of misdirect, and that it'll be a proper challenge each week to figure out who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, what's about to happen. I like that so much is up in the air. All we have is the social security number to work off of. And I also kind of like the idea that this is a small cast show. We have Jim Caviezel, we have Michael Emerson, and there are 2 leads. It's not a team that does this every week. It's one man and his man at the desk. His rich man, very rich man at the desk. Right now, it very much feels like he's channeling Benjamin Linus. He's a man of means. He's a man of some mystery. He's incredibly intelligent. There's a lot of similarities here, and that's a good thing because Benjamin Linus is a super interesting character in his own right. One of the great TV characters of the last 20 years, I'd say. So why not have another character shaped by the same actor in a similar style, but drop him in an entirely new environment and with an entirely new mission? I'm cool with that. It feels like we've got a couple of other recurring characters. I feel like we're going to keep seeing our female cop that we saw right off the top. She feels like eventually she may become an ally. She hasn't pieced things together yet, but she's certainly got she's curious about our main guy, the drunk that she picked up one night. She seemed sympathetic to him, but she's also super curious about his prints showing up all over the place. So yeah, that'll be interesting. And we've got this dirty cop that we're giving a second chance to. Now, is he just going to be our source of information within the NYPD? Is he going to be on board? He seemed to be, as we said, he was reluctant to be part of this gang, but he went along with it. He's loyal. He's been given a second chance. Is that going to set him straight? We'll learn more. And I also don't know whether these secondary characters, are they going to be regulars? Are we going to see them every episode? Or are they just going to pop up when we need some help from the NYPD? Are we only set in New York? It feels like a New York-centric show. Obviously, it's filmed there. We've already referenced 9/11, and it's sort of being the genesis of this whole event, this whole scenario. But does that mean we're only getting social security numbers from people who live in the city? What about, like, presumably we're gathering information on Americans from all over the country, so would it be spitting out social security numbers for irrelevant cases all over the country as well? I'm intrigued. I want to see more. Can't wait for next week where we jump into the next episode. So thanks to all of you who voted. Thanks to all of you who voted for this one and steered me into this show. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the pilot and what there is to come. I would love to approach this show with fresh eyes as possible, so please do your best to avoid spoilers in the comments, but otherwise, anything goes. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your ideas. Oh, and if you haven't already, if you're new to the channel, if you just haven't gotten around to it until now, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of these. And if you're interested in seeing my full-length reactions to these episodes or anything else that I react to here on YouTube, be sure to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/NeilTalks. We also have early access to all of my YouTube reactions. We're 4 weeks ahead over there. So if you want to get a jump on where we are here, check out my Patreon. And yeah, until next week, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.